up? It is Dan Go, and I'm here with my kettlebell sensei, Chris Lopez. And literally, if I have any questions about kettlebells, Chris is the first person I go to. And Chris, we did the interview before. Just give him a little bit of a background of what your credentials are.
Okay, I'm a StrongFirst Level 2 kettlebell trainer. StrongFirst is kind of like a spawn off the RKC, so I am also an RKC Level 2 kettlebell trainer. So certified under Pavel himself, the godfather.
And who's Pavel?
Pavel's the godfather of kettlebell movement. Back in, I guess we're in 2013, so about 13 years ago, he brought kettlebells over from Mother Russia over to North America, popularized them with Dragon Door, and now he's got this whole movement of StrongFirst Girias. That's what we're called. That's like a kettlebell practitioner in Russian. So
I got Pavel's stuff way like a decade ago.
Yeah.
Came out with bulletproof abs, and then I was just blown away. And actually, some of the stuff that you see in that book is actually the new fad that's going on today in 2013.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Bulletproof abs was actually my first book as well. That's the first one, and that kind of got me introduced into the whole kettlebell movement, into the whole hard style movement. And yeah, a lot of the techniques that he teaches 13 years ago, or whenever it was that it came out, are still being used today. Just because, I mean, it's foundational stuff.
Yeah.
So it works.
What's old is new again, kind of thing. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
One thing we talked about in the last interview that we did with Chris was the kettlebell swing. Now, one thing I want to ask you is there's two separate styles of kettlebell training.
Yeah.
Can you go into those and tell us the differences?
Okay, well, I practice what's called hard style, which is maximizing tension, maximum power development. It's great for athletics. It's great for anything that has to do, well, it's good for fat loss, anything that has to do with power generation through the hips. There's also something called soft style, which I'm not 100% versed in that, but basically what soft style is GS sport or Girias sport, which is where you compete with kettlebells and you lift kettlebells for a maximum amount of reps in 10 minutes. So hard style is more about energy production and using power. Soft style is a little bit more about endurance and being able to preserve your energy so you can lift for maximum reps.
Cool. So what are we doing today?
All right, so today, if you remember in the interview, we talked about the kettlebell swing, and I said how it's not a squat and a front raise. So today I'm going to take Dan, your man, through I guess a swing tutorial. Teach him how to do it properly, try to clear up any imbalances or messes or messy things that he may have going on with the swing right now, and teach him how to set up.
Awesome.
All right?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, all right. So here's what we're going to do. We've got a 16 kilogram kettlebell right here.
Well, before we get into this, tell me about the shoes and why are you using Converses as opposed to, say, like a Nike Free or even like one of those toe shoes?
Okay, well, I just like using Converse because it's low to the ground. There's really not much difference from using the Vibram 5 Fingers, the toe shoes, or the Frees. You just want something low to the ground. You definitely don't want to be practicing kettlebell training, or any training for that matter, with thick-soled shoes, mainly because your energy gets dissipated in the cushion. So we want to make sure that we've got a nice thin sole, that we've got good contact with the ground, prevent slippage and everything as well. If you want, like what Dan's doing right now, is go barefoot. That's another great way of doing it. I just kind of like wearing these shoes right now.
Yeah, I like to go caveman. So
there you go. He's the primal guy. All right, so kettlebell swing.
Yes.
First thing that you're going to do is you want to make sure that you've got a vertical shin angle, which means that your shins are straight up and down. And the way you find your swing stance, I tell people, is just jump up and then land athletically. And boom, you've got your swing stance. So that's pretty much the spacing of your feet and how far they should be. After that, you've got your kettlebell in front of you, and what you want to do is first chop at your hips to find that creases to where you flex at your hips. And you're going to lean forward and bend down. Now you should automatically feel your hamstrings and your glutes kind of light up when you do that. You kind of feel that? So if you notice, Dan's got a flat back when he hinges, and that's what you really want to focus on when you're doing this. Yes. Okay, so you notice that Dan's hinging at his hips, and his butt's going right back. So that's ideally how he's going to swing. And now comes the setup. So let me show you how to set up. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna chop your hips and you're gonna hinge down, and then you're gonna put 2 hands on your kettlebell. So most people start the kettlebell swing up in that deadlift position and then start momentum from there. But when we train hardstyle, we wanna try to get as many quality reps as we can for every single swing. So we're gonna go from rep 1 all the way through. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna sit back with your hips and grab the belt. By tilting that belt towards you, you're already creating some potential energy. So tilting the belt towards you, and then from here, you're gonna practice height passing the belt. So I'm gonna lift my chin up, I'm gonna pop my chest, I've got a good arch in my back. I'm gonna focus on one spot in the horizon, and I'm gonna swing through, and then bring it back. So all I'm doing is practicing height passing the belt through my knees. Okay? So Dan, give me a few reps of that.
Okay. Shins vertical, chop at the hips.
Good. That's good. But make sure you're looking at something straightforward, okay? Arch your back and pop your chest. Good. Put it back down. Now stay low. Good. Really throw that through. So you want to imagine that you're center in American football, height passing to the quarterback. Good. Now stay there. And now a couple of things. I want you to drop your shoulders, bring them down and back. Fire your lats. Good. Now lift your hips up a little bit and stay very straightforward. Drop your hips. There you go. That's good. And fire it through. Good. So that's step 1. Okay. So let the kettlebell go. Step 2 is now we're going to forcefully stand up. So watch out. So now I'm going to height pass the bell through. Practice my pre-swing, and now I'm going to pre-swing and stand up. Shake that out, and then do it again. Light up your hips, brace your abs, height pass, and then through.
I've always heard that your neck always has to be in line with your spine. I realize there's so many different ways to do it. So what's the benefit of keeping your chin up as you're going into the swing?
The thing that you want to remember is that wherever your eyes go, the rest of your body will follow. So anytime your eyes drop, the likelihood of you getting some type of thoracic curve and then eventually a lumbar curve, especially if you're into rep 20, rep 25, rep 50, rep 100, really goes up. So making sure that you've got that good thoracic and lumbar extension, keeping your back arch throughout the duration of the set is really important. The best way to do that is to keep your eyes on the horizon. That means keeping your chin up. Now, mind you, that doesn't mean cervical hyperextension. It just means extension. Just look straight ahead.
Like a little chin tuck.
Yeah, exactly. So try to focus your eyes on a spot in the horizon. So here we go. Dan's going to go through his swing. He's going to arch his back, stick his butt out, height pass, and really force it through. Good. And then on the third one, you're going to stand up, force it through. Good. Back again. So let's do that again. Height pass through. And straight up when you're ready. Good. That's a lot better. Okay. And then the final thing, the final teaching point is your root position when you finish. So what you want to imagine, Dan, is do me a favor and deadlift that kettlebell up. Okay. So Dan's in this root position. This is what we call the root position. So he's going to make sure that, number 1, his quads are tight. So he's going to be locked out. So you want to imagine pulling your kneecaps up into your hips. The second thing you want to do is fire your glutes. So I'm going to give Dan some tough love, and I'm going to punch him in the glutes. So he's got his quads tight, and he's going to get punched in the glutes. After that, his abs are going to be tight. So he's bracing his abs, and then finally, his lats are going to stay tight. Now, remember that position, because in that position, that's where you're going to finish with the belt. So your quads are going to be locked up, you're going to squeeze your glutes, you're going to brace your abs, pack your shoulders, and you're going to stay locked out in that position. So imagine that you've got the kettlebell out there, and you're in that same position. Quads tight, glutes tight, abs tight, and lats are tight as well. Okay, so now, let's do 5 swings, repetitive swings. Start with your height pass, and then find that root each time for all 5. Okay? Arch your back, make sure you're lighting up your hamstrings and your glutes so you can feel them. Good. There you go. Straight up, head to the side. There you go. Alright, and that's the hardstyle kettlebell swing.
Awesome. Dude, that was amazing. One thing I want to say is grip.
Yeah.
A lot of people kind of like relax their grip off the kettlebell. What exactly would you do?
If I'm swinging the kettlebell, then you want to imagine the swing being almost like a wave of tension and relaxation. So at this top point, even though you're completely tense through here, you're actually creating float with the bell. And so the bell is floating up and it becomes really light. So at that point, you could really lighten up your grip for a split second. Immediately as the bell starts to descend, that's when you really want to tighten up your grip again to be able to fire it through.
Yeah. Where is the pressure from your foot placement when you're doing the kettlebell swing? Where exactly on the foot? Heel, arch, or the ball?
Well, the thing you want to remember when you're swinging a kettlebell is that you want to think about grabbing the floor. Yeah. So you're actually growing roots through your feet. So it isn't mainly through the heel, it's not mainly through the toe, but it's the entire foot grabbing the floor. So every time you root, you're grabbing that floor and then doing all the other things that it's doing.
It also stabilizes your hips as well, just to make sure nothing's loose in that calf.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Yeah. Awesome. So, Chris, thank you so much for coming in and schooling our ninjas on the kettlebell swing. Now, where can people reach you?
Kettlebellworkouts.com is my blog, and you'll find it's a pretty good kettlebell resource because we've got a bunch of different authors going through there and giving us various tips. So head over there and check it out.
Yeah, and this is Dan, and we got Chris, strong first level 2 instructor, and he is my kettlebell sensei. So thank you very much for doing this. I appreciate it. All right. See you too. All right. We'll talk to you soon. Yeah.